Okay, so we're going to make some colored clay. So I have a quart plastic bag here. I'm going to take some reclaim out of here. This is 365 white porcelain, which is what I like to use to make all of my pieces because it's beautiful. It's very buttery to throw and it's super white, so you get lovely colors on it. So I'm going to take all of this. Okay. And all I'm going to do is put some water in here to slag it down and make it super soft, or it doesn't even matter if it becomes slip, because we're just going to put our mason stains in here. I'm just giving that a nice little massage, get all the water around. Okay, so, and there it is. I'm just going to put that away, put that aside for, I don't know, a couple of days or however long it takes for it to, to super soften. I'll check it tomorrow. It these pieces are pretty thin. Might go a little faster than I expect, but maybe 2 days, we'll see. Okay, I'll show you the next step when that's ready. Okay, so here we go. This has gotten quite soft. It's not slip, it's thicker than slip. I'm just gonna mix it up a little bit more here in our bag, give it some squeezing. Some loving and squeezing. Yeah, that's why I'm a potter. It just made me think of that Journey song. Loving, what is it? Loving, touching, squeezing. That's what we need to do to our clay. All right, and then I'm gonna push this all down that way again. Okay, all right, and then we're going to move over to another table where we are going to color it. Okay, and here is where I've assembled my mason stains and my measuring instruments. And you don't have to measure, but I'd like to have some kind of idea, like if I get a color that I really like, I'd like to have some kind of idea what I did to achieve that. So I'm going for red. So I have this dark red 6021 mason stain. Anything involving red is very expensive, so I'm not gonna mess around with this too much. So that's what I'm going for. I want to make a nice red. I think I'm gonna go weigh this clay. Instead of, I'm guessing that there's about maybe 1.5 cups of clay there, but I'm going to go measure it. Be right back. Okay, so I have my handy dandy Weight Watchers scale here that weighs both in pounds and grams. So I'm going to find out how many ounces this is. So it's not even a pound of clay. So it's 13 ounces. All right, so 13 ounces, I gotta do math. It's gonna make my head hurt. Okay, so this clay is pretty stiff. It's a little wet for wedging, but it's a little stiffer than I want it to be able to mix the mason stain into it. So I pushed it down a little bit in the bag, and I'm gonna give it a little spray of water. There we go. I just want the mason stain to, really cling to something in there when it goes in. So I was looking at a recipe that someone else gave me, and their recommendation was like 400 grams of mason stain for 12 ounces of clay or slip. So let's see, I'm gonna turn this puppy over to grams. There we go, gotta turn it back on first. All right, Turn it on. All right, zero it out. Okay, we're gonna switch to grams now. All right, now I'm gonna put that on there. That's 130 grams. I'm thinking 400 grams of mason stain might be an awful lot. So let's just see. So I'm gonna zero that out so that I'm only weighing the mason stain. And I'm just going to use this to measure. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that beautiful red. Wow. Now, by rights, I should be wearing a mask to do this. Some people like to wear gloves. I'm not working with major amounts here, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Wow, okay, so that's just 16 grams. I think 400 grams would be about this whole bag. So I'm just gonna do 2 of these and I'm gonna see what kind of color I get with that much clay. So that is, that's basically a tablespoon because this is a half tablespoon measure. That's 28 grams. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that for a sec. All right, 28 grams there, okay. Zero that out. Let's see how many grams we have of this. 364. So 10 to 30% is usually what you would use as a ratio for adding your mason stains. So 28% is, let's see, if I round that up to 30, that's about 10% right there because it's 365 grams. So I'm gonna add just a tad more in here. And we'll add it to the clay. Now, some people, I was watching other people do this. Some people like to mix with dry clay and dry mason stain. I actually did that myself, trying to, figure out how to do it. But I didn't like it because I don't like all the dry mason stain flying around. So I figured, if I can do it in this bag, that would probably be a lot healthier because, I'm in a small space, and even though I do have a air purifier in here, have to be really careful when you're, messing with chemicals and stuff. So all I'm gonna do now is knead the stain inside the bag to get it into the clay. You can see there's a lot of dry right there on top, so it's going to take a while to knead this. So I'm going to close that back up and continue. And got to get some of this clay out of here though, that's why I didn't want to close. Okay, I'll catch you on the flip side. I don't think you need to watch me knead this for too long. I think you know how to do that. And so here you see I have a nice ball of red clay after I took it out of the bag and mushed it all together, did a little wedging on it. So yeah, it's really nice. So as I said, this is about 13 ounces of clay, and I used a tablespoon of mason stain with it. I'm going to just make some test tiles with this, or just a test tile, so that I can see how it fires up. In all likelihood, what you see is what you get with mason stain, but because this is mixed with the white clay, I don't know if it might fire lighter or a little darker, and I would like it to be a nice vibrant red. So if after firing it, if I feel like I need to add a little more mason stain to this, I will. So that's pretty much it for making colored clay today. I'm so excited to use this and the other colors that I made. So there it is. So once again, this was about 13 ounces of clay to a tablespoon of mason stain. All right, that's it. Any questions or comments, please leave it in the section down below. And I hope you'll stop back again to see what I'm up to. I'll be doing something on making engobis or underglazes, also using mason stains. And that's it for now. So have a great day, happy pottering, and God bless. So here is a little test tile that I made with the red colored clay that I made, and as I suspected, it came out more to the pink because it was mixed with the white clay. Now, to get an idea of what it'll look like when it's glaze fired, I can spray it with a little water, get an idea how it's going to look. So it will darken up. It's still going to be more pinkish than the red that I wanted. So the thing to do will be go back and maybe add about 10% more mason stain to that. So that will be my next move. So what I'm going to do, since I have a good amount of this, is I'm going to split it in half and put one side in another bag to add more mason stain to, because this is a lovely color. Why not keep it? So, you know, I mean, even if things don't come out right, sometimes they come out right. So to me, when you're doing this, when you're mixing colors and things like that, I think it's important to keep track of what you're doing. You see, I have this big sketchbook in here, and in the back I'm keeping my recipes. And so after I divided the pink into two colors, I marked this as pink, took this other half. Now what I'm doing is I'm remeasuring this amount here, and this is 175 grams. So I'm writing a new recipe, 175 grams of pre-colored clay above, because in here I wrote the recipe for the first round of colored clay that I made. And so I want to make sure, I think it's important to do this because if you get a color you really like, you want to know how to be able to do it again. So I have the 175 grams of the colored clay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that same formula of 10% mason stain to clay body. So I'm going to zero this out, and then that's going to tell me when I put the mason stain in how much I'm putting in. Okay, I'll allow a little bit for my fingers here. So what I want is 17 grams, 10%. That's, okay, 13. Okay, there we go. Just almost perfect. 16, come on, 17, come on, come on, come on. We need a ball palea. All right. Ah, and then it went crazy on me. Okay, I'm gonna take just a tad out because it jumped to 19 on me, and we'll call that even. Okay. All right, so now I'm just gonna put some more water in here, just a little bit. Okay, you know the drill. I'm just gonna knead this again inside of the bag, and we'll come out with a darker color, and I'll get back with you and show you when it's all pretty and darker red. Okay, so now you can see that the red that I just added the mason stain to is much different in color, much darker red than the first one. So now I have a ball of pink and I have a ball of deeper pink. Hopefully this will fire more red. We'll find out. But anyway, so now you know, like, you know, and this is like what you can do is you just, you know, keep adjusting and experimenting until you get the colors that you want. So we have those, and what I did was, you know, I showed you how I was mixing this inside the bag, and to get it out, what I did was first I started using this a spatula move everything on the sides down and to push in the mason stain into the clay while it was in the bag. And then it will stick to the bag, and like I said, to me this mason stain is kind of expensive, so it's precious to me. So I turned it inside out, and I just use this, I just use a metal rib here to scrape everything out, make sure I get it all. Unfortunately, I got some on my wedging table here also, so you know, I just do this, make sure I get whatever spilled there also. I don't like wasting things, so. And yes, I did put gloves on because you know, this is the stain is pretty red, so there you go. Experiments in coloring clay. If you have any questions, let me know. Just leave them in the comments. You can always hit me up on my website. And stay well and have a great day. Happy clay making. Woo woo. I wish I was a juggler. Oh, no. Oh. No good. All right. Bye.